One morning, a long time ago, a curious 6-year-old boy named Max woke up feeling like something was different. It was a fine summer morning. The birds were singing outside his window and the sun was shining warmly through the gaps in the curtains. But for some reason, Max didn't feel like playing with his toy cars or building a Lego castle. He wanted to go outside and explore. He pulled on his favorite red boots, grabbed his trusty magnifying glass, and walked out into his backyard. It looked like any other backyard. There was the old oak tree where he used to sit as a toddler. While his dad mowed the lawn, there was the little patch of vegetables his mom had planted, and there was the vegetable patch. But today, everything seemed new and exciting to Max. As he walked along the fence, he noticed something he'd never seen before. A small wooden gate hidden behind a rose bush. It was painted the same color as the roses, so it almost blended in. Curiosity got the better of Max, so he pushed it open. To his surprise, the gate creaked open and revealed a path made of sparkling pebbles. It wound through the trees at the end of his garden and disappeared from view. Max hesitated for a moment, but then he took a deep breath, gripped his magnifying glass tightly, and walked down the path. It felt like stepping into another world. The trees formed a tunnel overhead, dappling the ground with sunlight. Birds with bright plumage perched on the branches, chirping merrily, and butterflies with wings like stained glass windows fluttered around Max, their colors blending together in a beautiful mosaic. At the end of the path, the trees opened up to reveal a beautiful meadow bathed in golden light. Flowers of every color imaginable swayed gently in the breeze, and the air buzzed with the sound of bees collecting pollen. In the center of the meadow sat a wise-looking turtle and a large, gentle-looking butterfly. They had been expecting Max. Before he could say a word, the butterfly fluttered closer and greeted him warmly. "Welcome, young one. I am Zara, and this is Tilly." "It's nice to meet you," Max said, still in awe of the beautiful meadow. "Where am I, and how did I get here?" "You are in a place of magic and wonder," Zara replied. "And you came here because you have a pure and curious heart." Just then, a brown rabbit hopped out from behind a flower. "Pip, what did you just say?" Zara asked sharply. "I'm sorry, Zara," Pip said with a sigh. "I can't help myself. I love talking too much." "That's quite all right, Pip," Zara said with a smile. "After all, you are known throughout the meadow as the most talkative rabbit around." Pip beamed with pride. "Well, it's nice to meet you," Max said, holding out his hand. "Do you want to be friends?" Pip shook Max's hand vigorously. "Of course I do. I make friends. After all, I'm known throughout the meadow as the most friendly rabbit around." He beamed again, puffing out his chest. "Enough of that, Pip," Zara interrupted. "We don't have much time. We need to show you what's happening to our meadow." She led them deeper into the meadow, where the flowers began to droop and the grass turned a sickly yellow. "What happened?" Max asked, his voice filled with concern. Zara sighed. "Our meadow is slowly losing its magic. The flowers are wilting, the grass is withering, and the animals are losing their vibrant colors. Soon, this meadow may become just an ordinary field forever." "But why?" Max asked, his brow furrowed with worry. Tilly spoke up for the first time. "Long ago, this meadow was full of magic. It was a place where animals and humans could come together and experience the wonders of nature. But over time, people forgot about our meadow. They stopped visiting, and the magic began to fade." "Is there anything we can do to help?" Max asked, determined to find a solution. Zara shook her head sadly. "Only someone with a pure and curious heart can restore the magic of our meadow," she said, looking directly at Max. "But you're just a kid," Pip interjected. "How can you possibly restore the magic?" Max closed his eyes and thought for a moment. He remembered all the wonderful times he'd spent in nature. He thought of picking apples with his grandpa, the taste of fresh berries from the wild, the cozy nights with his mom, gazing at the stars, and even the fun times he'd had, hugging trees just for fun. When he opened his eyes, a big smile spread across his face. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes again. He imagined himself surrounded by all the beauty and wonder of nature, feeling the soft grass beneath his feet, hearing the birds singing overhead, and smelling the sweet nectar of the flowers. He thought of his grandpa, his mom, and all the wonderful memories they'd shared in nature. As he focused on these happy thoughts, a warm, golden light began to emanate from him. The light grew brighter and brighter until it enveloped the entire meadow. When Max opened his eyes, he gasped. The meadow was more beautiful than ever. The flowers were in full bloom, their colors vibrant and their petals unfurled. The grass was a rich, emerald green, and the trees were a deep, majestic brown. The animals, too, were filled with color. Pip's fur was a rich chestnut brown. Zara's wings shimmered with every color of the rainbow, and Tilly's shell gleamed with 1,000 shades of green. The animals cheered and clapped, their voices echoing through the meadow. "You did it, Max," Zara said, her voice filled with joy. "You've restored the magic of our meadow." Pip hopped around Max in circles, his tail twitching with excitement. "You're a true friend of the meadow," he shouted. Max blushed, feeling the warmth of their appreciation. He knew he had made a new group of friends and had a special place to visit whenever he needed a reminder of the magic that existed in the world. "Thank you," Max said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I'm so happy I could help." He knew he would never forget this day. The day he discovered a magical meadow, made a new group of friends, and learned that even the smallest person can make a big difference. Suddenly, Max felt a gentle nudge on his shoulder. He turned around and saw Pip holding out a small, sparkling flower. "Here you go," Pip said with a smile. "A little something to remember your first day here." Max carefully took the flower and tucked it into his pocket. It felt warm and alive in his hands, and he could already feel its magic filling him with wonder. "Thank you," he said with a smile. Just then, Zara fluttered closer. "It's time for you to go, Max," she said gently. "The magic of the meadow will keep you safe until sunset, but after that, the portal will disappear." Max felt a pang of sadness. He didn't want to leave his new friends, but he knew Zara was right. He turned to Pip and Tilly and gave them both a big hug. "I'll miss you," he whispered. "Don't worry, Max," Pip said with a wink. "You'll see us again soon." Max walked back to the gate, his steps heavy with sadness. But when he reached the opening, he turned around and saw Pip, Tilly, and Zara waving at him. A small smile crept onto his face. He waved back, then stepped through the gate. Behind him, the gate vanished, leaving only a sparkling flower in his pocket. Max turned and ran towards home, his laughter echoing through the trees. He couldn't wait to tell his parents about his amazing adventure. He knew he would never forget his day at the magical meadow, and he dreamed of returning soon to see his new friends again.